Hare Krishna, Lalitmam Prabhuji, and after all, I will support and Gurudev. We'll start with the Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanat Mirandasya Jnanam Shalakaya. Chakshadamritam Tasya Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale. Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Namaste Saraswati Devi. Gauravani Pracharya Nirvishesha Shunyamadhi Constituted Nation. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Vasari, Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukhaṁ karoti vācālam, pāvevulam jayate yat kripātamaham vande. Shri Gurum Dinatarinam, Paramananda Madhavam, Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram. Om apavitra pavitro va sarva sangato bhava yasmare pundari kaksham. Sabahya abhyantaram suji, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All glories to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Sri Nityananda. All glories to Advaita Acharya, Advaita Chandra, and all glories to the devotees of Lord Gauranga. This one recite Lavanya.
CC Adilila 1.14 by 7.6. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam. Let me offer my obeisances unto Lord Sri Krishna, who has manifested himself in 5 features. As a devotee, that is Bhaktarupa, expansion of a devotee, Bhakta Swarupakam, incarnation of a devotee, Bhaktavataram, pure devotee, Bhaktakyam, and devotional energy, that is Bhakti Shaktikam. The 5 features are Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, he is Swayam Bhagwan. Sri Nityananda Prabhu is Krishna's first personal expansion as Balarama. Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu is the Mahavishnu and Sadashiva, he is Harihara. Srivasa Thakur is Krishna's pure devotee, he is Narada Muni and symbolizes devotion, that is Bhakti. Sri Gadadhara Pandita is the Krishna's internal energy, that is Srimati Radharani and Lalita Sakhi, that is Hladini Shakti. Purport last lines. This confirms the Vedic Sutra Parasha Shaktir Vividaiva Shruyate. All these Bhakta subjects taken together constitute Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurat Vishe Namaha. Sandhya Mother, please read translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hello.
O most munificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani and you are widely distributing the pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you.
Okay, thank you, Mother.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Vani Mata, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Malli vaadandi roju.
Yes, Prabhuji. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Rakshamam. Krishna, 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 Pahimam. That is, O Lord Krishna, please protect me and maintain me. He also chanted. राम राघव राम राघव राम राघव रक्ष माम् कृष्ण केशव कृष्ण केशव कृष्ण केशव पाहि माम्. That is, O Lord Rama, descendant of King Raghu, please protect me. O Krishna, O Keshava, killer of the Keshi demon, please maintain me.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So today's section is very important section, devotees, between Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami. Very much most prominent section of this, entire Chaitanya Charitamrita, conclusive of all the Vedic literatures, and very important discussion between both of them. And he has given highest truths of devotional service. So let me share quickly this one, the Subodhini's sections. Okay. Just sharing. 135 to 237. Lord Chaitanya's teachings to Srila Rupa Goswami. So this one, 135 to 237, Lord Chaitanya's teachings to Srila Rupa Goswami. So 138 to 150, the rarity and glory of the Krishna Bhakta. 151 to 165, the process of cultivating Krishna Bhakti, the growth of the Bhakti Lata. 166 to 182, those set of verses talks about pure devotional service, Shuddha Bhakti. 183 to 191, the primary and secondary rasas, mellows. From where, Srila Prabhupada also written in his purports. So whatever Prabhupada written is a conclusive teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These are the instructions given to Rupa Goswami, teachings and instructions how to follow, how to get the mood of a devotional service. 192 to 210, two categories of rati, attachment to Krishna. 211 to 234, symptoms of the five rasas. 235 to 237, instructions to expand the science of bhakti. So let us nicely have focus on this section. Okay, 135. Again, we'll start. CC Madhya 135. And today is a very auspicious day, starting again. Every year, this month is very much for our practitioners of Bhakti Yoga. Kartik Damodar Mas. CC Madhya 19.135. Sharing, yeah. We'll start reading, okay? I will start, okay, 135. So see, that's where Prabhupada put the title, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Srila Rupa Goswami. 135. Yehi mata dasadina prayagera hiya Shri Rupe Siksha Dila Shakti Sanchariya. Translation.
We are done.
Yeah, done, but Malaksa Daudamani. Okay, no? Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. For 10 days, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed at Prayaga and instructed Rupa Goswami, empowering with him necessary potency. Purport. This is a confirmation of the statement, Krishna Shakti Vina Nahe Tara Pravartana. Unless one is specifically empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he cannot spread the Krishna consciousness movement. So whoever preaches in our group, it's a Krishna's mercy. It's nothing but Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mercy. Nothing but Supreme Lord Krishna's mercy. No difference between Krishna and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. An empowered devotee sees and feels himself to be the lowest of men. Humility. Expressing their humility always in humble. Become humble, remain humble. Those are the perfect devotee consciousness. These words I heard from Gauranga Darshan. Become humble and remain humble. That quality if we have always, in all times, places, circumstances, so there is no question of false pride and false pride, false ego won't affect us if we feel that way all the times. Become humble and remain humble. An empowered devotee sees and feels himself to be the lowest of men. For he knows that whatever he does is due to the inspiration given by the Lord in the heart. This is confirmed by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. One of my favorite verse. Tesham satada yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogantam yaina mamupayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So what the constantly devotion, constantly devoted to serving me with love, consistently and devotion with love and service. Consistency, devotion, service with love. Then Krishna will give the understanding. So that we can understand Krishna, we come back to it. To be empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one has to qualify himself. This means that one must engage 24 hours daily in the loving devotional service of the Lord. Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, Satatam kirta yanto mam yatanta shadruda vrata namashyantasya mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Nitya yukta upasate. Nitya means we have our material time, 24 hours, 24 hours in a day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, like that. But in the spiritual world, there is no question of time, eternal, always. So when we qualify, we have to qualify to go back home back to. How can we qualify unless we chant 24 hours a day? That's a practice. That's we have to develop that. Always think about Krishna, never forgets. Smartavyam satatam Krishna vismartavyam na jatu chit. Padma Purana says. In his earlier life, Srila Rupa Goswami was government officer and a grahastha. He was not even a brahmachari or sannyasi. He associated with mlechas and yavanas. But because he was always eager to serve, he was a qualified recipient for the Lord's mercy. So only one quality Krishna looks in us, eager to serve. With this only devotees, we get all the benedictions, eager to serve, whatever situation. He was a qualified recipient for the Lord's mercy. A sincere devotee can therefore be empowered by the Lord regardless of his situation. In the preceding verse from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sri Rupa Goswami has described how he was personally empowered by the Lord. He further states in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1 to 187, very important verse also. Ihayasya hare dasye karmana manasagira nikalasve avastausu jivan mukta savuchyate. A person acting in the service of Krishna with his body, mind, and words is a liberated person. Even in the material world, he is situated, although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities. Manasa Vacha. Andike, the sannyasis, they got this. This is Tridandi, right? What is the Tridandi means? Tridandi means Manasa, Vacha, Karmana. They always engage in Krishna service. That's where they are, even though they are in the material world, they are liberated personalities. To keep oneself free from material contamination and attain the Lord's favor, one must be sincerely eager to render service to the Lord. This is the only qualification necessary. As soon as one is favored by the mercy of the spiritual master and the Lord, Guru and Krishna Krupa, one is immediately given all the power necessary to write books and propagate the Krishna consciousness movement without being hampered by material considerations, material any designations. Always in the servitude mode. We'll continue from 136. Okay. So, Lavanya, recite now.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. प्रभु कहे शुन रूपा मुक्ति रसेर लक्षणा सूत्र सूत्र रूपे कही विस्तारा नाया वर्णना. Translation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, My dear Rupa, please listen to me. It is not possible to describe the devotional service completely. Therefore, I am just trying to give you a synopsis of the symptoms of devotional service.
137.
Para para shunya gabira bhakti rasa sindhu to maya chakate tara kahi ek bindu. Translation. The ocean of the transcendental mellows of devotional service is so big that no one can estimate its length and breadth. However, just to help you taste it, I am describing but a drop.
One more. Okay, purport also there. So read one more anyway.
Eta brahmanda bari ananta jivagan. Eta brahmand. Eta brahmanda bari ananta jivagana chaurashi laksha yonite karaya brahmana. Translation. In this universe, there are limitless living entities in 84 lakh species, and all are wandering within this universe. Purport. This is a challenge. This is a challenge to so-called scientists and philosophers who presume that there are living entities only on this planet. So-called scientists are going to the moon and they say there are no life there. This doesn't tally with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's version. He says that everywhere within the universe there are unlimited numbers of living entities in 84 lakhs different forms. In the Bhagavad Gita 2.24, we find that the living entities sarvagata, which means that they can go anywhere. This indicates that there are living entities everywhere. They exist on land, water, air, fire, and ether. Thus, there are living entities in all types of material elements. Since the entire material universe is composed of 5 elements, that is earth, water, fire, air, ether, why should there be living entities only on one planet and not on others? Such a foolish version can never be accepted by Vedic students. From the Vedic literatures, we understand that there are living entities on each and every planet, regardless of whether the planet is composed of earth, water, fire, or air. These living entities may not have the same forms that are found on the earth, but they have different forms composed of different elements. Even on this earth, we can see that the forms of land animals are different from the forms of aquatics. According to the circumstance, living conditions differ, but undoubtedly there are living entities everywhere. Why should we deny the existence of living entities on this or other planet? Those who have claimed to have gone to the moon have not gone there, or else with their imperfect vision they cannot actually perceive the particular type of living entities there. The living
Right.
entities, yeah, Hare Krishna.
Very good. I will give it to somebody. Thank you. Thank you. Sandhya Mata, you all are able to read? Okay. Vani Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ చదవమంటారా the living entities names?
Yes, yes.
Okay. The living entities are described as ananta or unlimited. Nonetheless, they are said to belong to 84 lakh species, as stated in the Vishnu Purana. Jajanava lakshani sthavara laksha vimasati karmayo rudra sankhya pakshinam dosha lakshanam dasa lakshanam trimsa lakshani pasa va chatur lakshani manushaha. Okay, there are 9 lakh species living in the water. There are also
20 lakhs. 20 lakhs.
20 lakhs. Oh yeah, 20 lakhs. Non-moving living entities, Thiravara, such as Thavara. Okay, Thavara, such as trees and plants. There are also 11 lakh species of insects and reptiles, and there are also 10 lakh species of birds. As far as quadrupeds are concerned, there are 3 lakh varieties, and there are 4 lakh human species.
30 lakhs.
30 lakhs, sorry, 30 lakhs varieties, and there are 4 lakh human species. Some of these species may exist on one planet and not on another, but in any case, within all the planets of the universe and even in the sun, there are living entities. This is the verdict of the Vedic literature. As in Bhagavad Gita 2.20 confirms, Nachayate mriyate va kadachin नायं भूत्वा भवितव्यो न भूयात् अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. For the soul, there is neither birth or nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Since the living entities are never annihilated, they simply transmigrate from one life form to another. Thus, there is an evolution of forms according to the degree of developed consciousness. One experiences different degrees of consciousness in different forms. A dog's consciousness is different from a man's. Even within a species, we find that the father's consciousness is different from his son's, and that a child's consciousness is different from a youth's. Just as we find different forms, we find different states of consciousness. When we see different states of consciousness, we may take it for granted that the bodies are different. In other words, different types of bodies depend on different states of consciousness. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 8.6. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam याज्यते अन्ते कलेवरं तं तं एवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभाविता. One's consciousness at the time of death determines one's type of body in the next life. This is the process of transmigration of the soul. A variety of bodies is already there. We change from one body to another in terms of our consciousness.
Very good. Thank you, Madhya.
Thank you.
Text 139. Sandhya Madhya, are you able to read? Let me see. Chandramal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The length and breadth of
This one. Recite.
Kesagra Sateka Bhaga Puna Satam Sakari Tara Sama Sukshma Jivera Sarupa Vichari.
CC tune.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The length and breadth of the living entity is living entity is described as one 10,000 part of the. Prabhuji, can you please move up? Part of the tip of a hair. This is the original subtle nature of the living entity.
Minute, which cannot be seen with our blunt senses. That's where it's there. Veda's teachings, clear indication. What is the size of a soul? Keshagra Sateka Bhaga Puna Satamshakari Tara Sama Sukshma Jivera Swarupa Vichari. Who is telling to whom? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling to Sri Rupa Goswami. Next one, 140.
Yeah. Keshagra Sata Bhagasya.
This is slokam, Prabhu, regular slokam.
Okay. Kesagra Satam Bhagasya Satam Sada Sadrasat Mataha Jiva Shukshma Sarupoya Sankhya Titori Chitkana. Translation purple by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If we divide the tip of a hair into 100 parts, and then take one of these parts and divide it again into the 100 parts, that very fine division is the size of bird, but one of the numberless living entities. They are all chitkana particles of spirit, not matter. But this is quoted from the commentary on the portion of Srimad Bhagavatam, wherein the Vedas personified offer their obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna confirms this statement in the Bhagavad Gita 15.7. Mamevam so jevaloke jevabhute sanatanaha. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Lord Sri Krishna personally identifies himself with my minute living entities. Lord Krishna is the Supreme Spirit, the Super Soul, and the living entities is very minute parts and parcels. Of course, we cannot divide the tip of a hair into such fine particles, but spiritually such small particles can exist. Spiritual strength is so powerful that a mere atomic portion of spirit can be biggest brain in the material world. The same spiritual spark is within an ant and within the body of Brahma. According to karma, material activities, the spiritual spark attains a certain type of body. Material activities are carried out in the goodness, passion, and ignorance, are a combination of these. According to the mixture of the modes of material nature, the living entity is awarded a particular type of body. This is conclusion. This is the conclusion.
Perfect. Perfect conclusion. How he gets material bodies? Combination of these material modes according to mixture of the modes of material nature. Very well. Thank you, Babu. Next, 141, Lalit Babu.
Yes, Prabhu. बालाग्राशतभागस्य सताधा शतधा कल्पितस्य च भागो जीवः सविज्ञेया इति चाहा परा श्रुतिः. Translation: if we divide the tip of a hair into 100 parts and then take one part and divide this into another 100 parts, the 10,000th part is the dimension of the living entity. This is the verdict of chief Vedic mantras. Purport: the first three padas of this verse from the Panchadasi Chitra Deepa are taken from Shvetasvatara Upanishad 5.9. Sukshmanamapi aham jivaha. Translation: Lord Krishna says, among minute particles, I am the living entity. Purport: by his divine grace, the living entity is one with and different from spiritual personality of Godhead. As spirit soul, the living entity is one in quality with the Supreme Lord. However, the Supreme Lord is bigger than the biggest, and the living entity is the smallest of the small. This quotation is third pada of a verse from Srimad 16.11. Guninamapyaham sutram mahatam cha mahanaham sukshmanamapyaham jivo durjayamahamannah. Last way. Durjayam aham manah. Okay. Translation: among things possessing qualities, I am the primary manifestation of nature. And among great things, I am total material creation. Among subtle things, I am a spirit soul. And of things that are difficult to conquer, I am mind. Haribol. Uddhav Gita.
Haribol, yes. What is this? Sukshmana apyaham jivaha. Haribol. Yes, we'll continue. Yes, Prabhuji. Next, who else read? 143. Somebody is not there. Okay. Let me read. ఎక్కడి నుంచి తీసుకున్నారు ఇది? This verse, which is also from Srimad Bhagavatam. 1087:30. 1087:30. Okay. బ్రహ్మ సంహితలు ట్రై చేద్దాం. అపరిమిత ధ్రువస్తనుభృతో యది సర్వగతాస్ తర్హి న సస్యతేతి నియమో ధ్రువ నేతరత అజానీచయన్మయం తద్ అవిముచ్య నియంతృర్భవేత్ సమం అనుజానతాం యదమతం మతదుస్తతయా. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: O Lord, although the living entities who have accepted material bodies are spiritual and unlimited in number, if they were all pervading, there would be no question of their being under your control. If they are accepted, however, as particles of the eternally existing the spiritual identity as part of you, who are the Supreme Spirit whole, we must conclude that they are always under your control. If the living entities are simply satisfied with being identical with you as spiritual particles, then they will be happy being controllers of so many things. The conclusion that the living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are one and the same is a faulty conclusion. It is not a fact. This verse, which is also from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:87-30, was spoken by the personified Vedas. So two different things. Living entity is different, but if we feel that a living entity and a supreme living entity, the super soul is same, that's not correct understanding. Faulty conclusion. Two are qualitatively one, but quantitatively different. He is bigger, we are small. He possesses in everybody's bodies, chara, but we are limited to our bodily perception or experiences. Text 144 again. Lavanya, go ahead. 144.
तारामध्ये सवरा जङ्गमदुयि भेदा जङ्गमे तिर्यज्जला स्थलचर विभेदा. Translation: The unlimited living entities can be divided into two divisions, those that can move and those that cannot move. Among living entities that can move, there are birds, aquatics, and animals.
Yeah.
Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Purport: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving instructions on how the living entities live under different conditions. There are trees, plants, and stones that cannot move, but still they must be considered living entities or spiritual sparks. The soul is present in bodies like those of trees, plants, and they are all living entities. Among moving living entities such as birds, aquatics, and animals, the same spiritual spark is there. As stated herein, there are living entities that can fly, swim, and walk. We must also conclude that there are living entities that can move within the fire and ether. Living entities have different material bodies composed of earth, water, fire, air, ether. These words, the words Tara Madhya means within this universe, the entire material universe is composed of 5 material elements. It is not true that living entities reside only within this planet and not within other planets. Such a conclusion is completely contradictory to the Vedas. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.24, Achetyoyam adahyoyam akledyo shosha evacha nitya sarva gata shanur achaloyam sanatana. This individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble and can be neither burned nor dried. He is everlasting, present everywhere, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same. The soul has nothing to do with the material elements. Any material element can be cut into pieces, especially earth. As far as the living entity is concerned, however, it can be neither burned nor cut into pieces. He can therefore live within the fire. We can conclude that there are also living entities within the sun. Why should living entities be denied this planet or that planet? According to the Vedas, the living entities can live anywhere and everywhere, on land, water, air, and in fire. Whatever the conditions, the living entity is unchangeable, that is Tanu. From the statements of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Bhagavad Gita, we are to conclude that living entities exist everywhere throughout the universes. They are distributed as trees, plants, aquatics, birds, human beings, and so on. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, thank you. Hare Krishna. Vani Mata, text 145.
Yes, Prabhuji. जालियाति अल्पतारा तारा मध्ये निचा गोविंदा बौद्ध साबारा. నేను వీళ్ళు ట్యూన్ ట్రై చేస్తాను ప్రభుజీ, కానీ రావట్లేదు నాకు. నా ట్యూనే చక్క అయిపోయింది, అదే వస్తుంది. ఇంకొకసారి చేస్తాం ప్రభుజీ. ఐ డిడ్ ఇట్ వెరీ బ్యాడ్.
చేయండి మాత.
యా तारा मध्ये मनुष्य जाति अति अल्पतरा तारा मध्ये मिर्चा पुलिंदा बौद्धा साबारा. Translation. Although the living entities known as human beings are very small in quantity, that division may be still further subdivided, for there are many uncultured human beings like Melchas, Pulindas, Bauddhas, and Sabaras.
Do this one.
Yeah. वेदे निष्ठा मध्य अर्धे के वेदे मुखे माने वेदे निषिदा पापा करे धर्मा नाही गाने. Translation. Although human beings, those who are followers of the Vedic principles, are considered civilized, among these, almost half simply give lip service while committing all kinds of sinful activities against these principles. Such people do not care for the regulative principles. Purport. The word Veda means knowledge. Supreme knowledge consists of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead and our relationship with Him and acting according to that relationship. Action in accordance with Vedic principles is called religion. Religion means following the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Vedic principles are the injunctions given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aryans are civilized human beings who have been following the Vedic principles since time immemorial. No one can trace out the history of the Vedic principles set forth so that man might understand the Supreme Being. Literature or knowledge that seeks the Supreme Being can be accepted as a bona fide religious system. But there are many different types of religious systems according to the place, the disciple, and the people's capacity to understand. The highest type of religious system is described in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.6. Thus, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Adhokshaje. The highest form of religion is that by which one becomes fully conscious of the existence of God, including His form, name, qualities, pastimes, abode, and all pervasive features. When everything is completely known, that's the perfection of Vedic knowledge. The fulfillment of Vedic knowledge is systematic knowledge of the characteristics of God. This is confirmed by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita 15:15. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vaidyo. The aim of Vedic knowledge is to understand God. Therefore, those who are actually following Vedic knowledge and searching after God cannot commit sinful activities against the Supreme Lord's order. However, in this age of Kali, all the men profess to belong to so many different kinds of religions. Most of them commit sinful activities against the orders of the Vedic scriptures. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says herein, Veda Nishida Papa Kare Dharma Vidhi Nidhi Gane.
Nahi, dharma nahi, dharma nahi.
Dharma Nahi Gane. Okay. In this age, men may profess a religion, but they actually do not follow the principles. Instead, they commit all kinds of sin.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So nice. So most of the people, this is the situation. Veda Nishiddha Papa Kare, Dharma Nahi Gane. Materialists, that's why you call materialists. 147. Okay. Akincham Prabhu. చదువుతారా
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభు ప్రభుజీ డ్రైవ్ చేస్తున్నారు నేను చదువుతాను ప్రభుజీ
యా చదవండి
ఇది శ్లోక కూడా చదవాలా ప్రభుజీ ధర్మచారి
ఇది సిసి ట్యూన్ చైతన్య చరితామృత ట్యూన్
యా నాకు ట్యూన్ రాదు ప్రభుజీ మీరు చదవండి
నేను చేస్తున్నా ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ పర్లేదు धर्माचारी मध्ये बहुधा कर्मा निष्ठा कोटि कर्मा निष्ठा मध्ये एक ज्ञानी श्रेष्ठ अरे बड़े अद्भुत धर्माचारी मध्ये बहुधा कर्मा निष्ठा कोटि कर्मा निष्ठा मध्ये एक ज्ञानी श्रेष्ठ रीड
Yeah. Among the followers of Vedic knowledge, most are following the process of fruitive activity and distinguishing between good and bad work. Out of many such sincere, fruitive actors, there may be one who is actually wise. Purport చదవాలా ప్రభుజీ?
Yeah.
Okay, bro. Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur states that the word karma nishtha refers to one who aspires to enjoy the result of his good work and pious activity. Some followers of Vedic principle offer everything to the absolute truth and do not aspire to enjoy the result of their pious action. These are also considered among the karma nishtha. Sometimes we see pious means earn money with great hardship and then spend the money for some pious cause by operating public charities, schools, and hospitals, whether one earns money for himself or for the public benefits. He is called a karma nishtha. Out of million of karma nishtha, there may be one who is wise. Those who try to avoid fruitive activity and who become silent in order to merge into the spiritual existence of the absolute truth. The truth and generally known as jnanis, wise men. They are not interested in fruitive activity but in merging into the supreme. In either case, both the karma, nishtha and the jnanas are interesting in personal benefits. The karmas are directly interested in the personal benefit within the material world, and the jnanas are interested in merging into the existence of the Supreme. The jnanas maintain the fruitive activity is imperfect. The cessation of the work and the merging into the supreme existence. That is their goal in life. The jnanas wants to extinguish the distinction between knowledge and the knower and the aim of knowledge. This philosophy is called monism or oneness and is characterized by spiritual silence.
Haribol,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Prabhu.
Nice one. Thank you for reading, even though driving. Thank you. Very good. So this is the definition of monism, characterized by spiritual science. Jnanis, they merge into the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but merging into the Supreme Existence, Brahman realization, extinguish the distinction between the knowledge, knower of the knowledge, and aim of the knowledge. The same. Sarvasya chaham vriddhi sannivishtam matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedaisya sarvair ahameva vedyo vedanta krut vedavideva chaham. So adi botadu anamata. That's where devotees' understandings are perfect. Personal understanding. Krishna is a person. The aim and goal of Vedas is to know him and serve him. 148. Sapan Prabhu, thank you for joining. Haribol, you continue now.
Hare Krishna Bhodanda Pranam.
Dhanavad Pranam.
Koti Gnani Madhye Haya Eka Jana Mukta Koti Mukta Madhye Durlabha Eka Krishna Bhakta. Translation: out of many millions of such wise men, one may actually become liberated, Mukta, and out of many millions of such liberated person, a pure devotee of Lord Krishna is very difficult to find. Purport. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2.32, it is said that due to the poor fund of knowledge, the jnanis are not actually liberated. They simply think that they are liberated. The perfection of knowledge culminates when one comes to the platform of knowing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The perfection of knowledge culminates when one comes to the platform of knowing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagwan iti Shabdyate. The absolute truth, Satya Vastu, is described as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Knowledge of impersonal Brahman and the super soul is imperfect until one comes to the platform of knowing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is therefore clearly said in verse Koti Mukta Madhye Durlabha Eka Krishna Bhakta. Those who search after the knowledge of impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma are certainly accepted as liberated, but due to their imperfect knowledge, they are described in Srimad Bhagavatam as Vimukta Maninaha. Since their knowledge is imperfect, their conception of liberation is imperfect. Perfect knowledge is possible when one knows the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is supported by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 5.29. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam jnatma mam santim rachati. A person in full Krishna consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Research is going on for the karmis, jnanis, yogis, but until the search is complete, no one can attain peace. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita says, Jnatva mam shantim rachati. One can actually attain peace when he knows Krishna. This is described in the next verse. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sapan Prabhu, when somebody asks what is peace formula, you have to tell this. That is the UNESCO, the different United Nations organizations there. Actually, this is what it is. One has to understand the how this nature is coming into play and who is the person is created. So this is Prabhupada says, this is a peace formula verse. Peace formula. Bhoktaram ekatapasam sarvalokamesha surudam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. Hari bol.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Next, Chandraval Prabhu, again, please continue. 149.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Krishna Bhakta Niskama Ata Eva Santa Bhakti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakali Asanta. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Vijay. Because a devotee of Lord Krishna is desireless, he is peaceful. Fruity workers desire material enjoyment, jnanis desire liberation, and yogis desire material opulence. Therefore, they are all lusty and cannot be peaceful. Purport. The devotee of Lord Krishna has no desire other than serving Krishna. Even so-called liberated people are full of desires. Fruitive actors desire better living accommodations, and jnanis want to be one with the Supreme. Yogis desire material opulence, yogic perfections, and magic. All of these non-devotees are lusty because they desire something they cannot have peace. The peace formula is given by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita 5.29. Bhoktanam yajna tapasam sarvalokamaheswaram Shuddham Sarvabhutanam Jnatva Mam Santam Rachati. One who simply understands that throughout the entire universe, Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and beneficiary of all kinds of sacrifices, penances, and austerities. We should be performed only to attain his devotional service, that Krishna is the supreme being and thus the proprietor of all the material worlds, and that Krishna is the only friend who can actually do good to all the living entities. Shuddham Sarvabhutana.
Suhridam means friendly.
Suhridam Sarvabhutana. One who understands these three principles about Krishna immediately becomes desireless, niskama, and therefore peaceful. A Krishna Bhakta knows that his friend and protector in all respects is Krishna, who is able to do anything for his devotee. Krishna says, Kaunteya pratijana hi name bhakta pranasyati. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Since Krishna gives the assurance, the devotee lives in Krishna and has no desire for personal benefit. The background for the devotee is the all good himself. Why should the devotee aspire for something good for himself? His only business is to please the Supreme by rendering as much as service as possible. A Krishna Bhakta has no desire for his own personal benefit. He is completely protected by the Supreme. Avasyara Rakshibi Krishna Viswasa Palana. Bhakti Vinoda Thakura says that he is desireless because Krishna will give him protection in all circumstances. It is not that he expects any assistance from Krishna. He simply depends on Krishna, just as a child depends on the parents. The child does not know how to expect service from his parents, but he is always protected nevertheless. This is called niskama, desirelessness. Although Kamis, Jnanis, although Kamis, Jnanis, and Yogis fulfill their desires by performing various activities, they are never satisfied. A karmi may work very hard to acquire $1 million, but as soon as he gets $1 million, he desires another million. For the karmis, there is no end of desire. The more the karmic gets, the more he desires. Jnanis cannot desire less because their intelligence is unsound. They want to merge into the Brahman effulgence, but even though they may be raised to that platform, they cannot be satisfied there. There are many jnanis and sannyasis who, after taking sannyasa and giving up the world as false, return to the world to engage in politics or philanthropy, to open schools and hospitals. This means that they could not attain the real Brahma Satyam. They have to come down to the material platform to engage in philanthropic activity. Thus, they again cultivate desires, and when the desires are exhausted, they desire something different. Therefore, the jnani cannot be niskama, desireless. No, nor can the yogis be desireless, but they desire yogic perfections in order to exhibit some magical feats and gain popularity. People gather around these yogis, and the yogis desire more and more adulation. Because they misuse their mystic power, they fall down again to the material platform. It is not possible for them to become niskama, desireless. The conclusion is that the only devotees who are simply satisfied in serving the Lord can actually become desireless. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says here, Krishna Bhakta Niskama. Since the Krishna Bhakta, the devotee of Krishna, is satisfied with Krishna, there is no possibility of fall down. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, their desire, the pure devotee's desire is to serve Supreme Lord. That is the only desire. That is apart from no other desire. So what is that verse, Rupa Goswami? Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavrutam anukulyena Krishna anushilanam bhaktiruttama. Only desire to serve Supreme Lord. That's where they become peaceful. That is a key. How can one become completely peaceful? Desirelessness of materialistic way of life or materialistic desires. Desire to serve Supreme Lord makes them peaceful. Very nice. Super. Thank you, Prabhuji. So let me see this one. And I think we'll stop here. 9 o'clock outundi. Let us chant those Bhakti Vaibhava verses. We'll continue from this verse tomorrow. It's a very important section. Slowly, nicely we'll read. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami ki jai. Let me chant Bhakti Vaibhava. ప్రభుజీ ప్రభు మన లలితమోహన్ ప్రభు
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
ప్రభుజీ
ప్రభు.
1 అయింది, 2 అయింది, 3 కూడా అయింది. రేపు అన్ని ఈ ఫైవ్ కంటిన్యూస్ లార్డ్ రిషబ్ దేవ వర్సెస్ వి విల్ రిసైడ్. టుడే ఆల్సో విల్ గో త్రూ విత్ 8 and 18 ప్రభు. ఓకే, 8 and 18.
అలాగే.
యా
ప్రభు 8 ఏంటంటే తండ్రి కొడుకులకి ఎప్పుడు చెప్పడు, కానీ రిషబ్జీ చెప్తాడు అనమాట కొడుకులకి.
అది
పుంస స్త్రీయ మీన్స్ మేల్ అండ్ ఫీమేల్. మిథుని భావం ఏకం. అట్రాక్షన్ బిట్వీన్ ద మేల్ అండ్ ఫీమేల్. దిస్ అట్రాక్షన్ వాట్ విల్ ఇట్ బ్రింగ్? తయోర్మితో హృదయ గ్రంథి మాహు. తయోర్మితో అంటే ఈ మైథునం ఏదైతే ఉన్నదో means the pumsa and striya, attraction between male and female. Hridaya grandhi, it will form what? Not between the hearts of the two, male and female.
గట్టిగా టైడింగ్.
సో ఈ హృదయ గ్రంథం ఏర్పడుతున్న ఏమొస్తాయంట తర్వాత? అతో గృహ అంటే అట్రాక్షన్ వస్తుందంట. దేనివల్ల? ఆ గృహానికి ఫస్ట్ నాట్ ఏంటి? ద సెక్స్ అట్రాక్షన్ బిట్వీన్ ద మేల్ అండ్ ఫీమేల్. దాని వల్ల డెవలప్ అయ్యేది ఏంటి? హృదయ గ్రంథి. ఈ హృదయ గ్రంథి ఏం చేస్తుందంటే గృహ అంటే ఆ ఇంటిమేట్ అట్రాక్షన్ పెంచుద్ది అనమాట. తర్వాత క్షేత్ర, ఇప్పుడు లేదు ఇది, అంటే పొలాలు. మనకి క్షేత్రం ఏంటంటే మన ఉద్యోగాలు అన్నమాట. మనకి క్షేత్రం ఏంటంటే వ్యాపారాలు. ఎవరైతే వ్యవసాయం చేస్తున్నారో వాళ్ళకి పొలాలు, దాని మీద అట్రాక్షన్ పెరుగుతుంది. తర్వాత సూత, పుత్రులు, ప్రోజని, దాని మీద అట్రాక్షన్ పెరుగుతుంది అనమాట. ఆప్త, ఆప్త అంటే బంధువులు, రిలేటివ్స్. Attraction will be strong towards the devotees also, no, to relatives also. Okay. Vitta ante dabbu, wealth, vitta mantri, finance minister. Okay. So first enti attraction between the male and females. Andukane New York వెళ్ళిన వెంటనే what did Prabhupada say? Not the towers, not the skyscrapers, but he said that females here might be so attractive, and to impress them, what did the males do? This much of shrama. Okay, that's how a Shastra Shastra will see. Anywhere you see a very, very great projects, na, it is said that there will be a very beautiful female there. Okay, so why? The attraction between the male and female is so strong. What happens? Hridaya Grandhi will form, and that Hridaya Grandhi will do what? Griha Kshetra Sutapa Vittayad. Okay, this is very important. Griha Kshetra. Kshetra means the field of activity, or here we call it as a polal, the fields, and there you can call as jobs, and some industry people, they can call as their industries. Okay, Suta towards their children, and Apta towards the relatives and the social bonding, social people, socializing. Vittayad, main thing, wealth. Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. This is very, very important. Now, the attraction between all these things will increase what? Janasya moham aham mameti. ఇదంతా నాది అని అనుకుంటాడు అనమాట. ఎవరైతే హృదయ గంధితో ఈ యొక్క మేల్ ఫీమేల్ అట్రాక్షన్ ఇంకా బంద్ అయి ఉంటారో వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తారో ఫైనల్ డెస్టినేషన్ ఏంటి వాళ్ళకి? జనస్య మోహోయం అహం మమేతి, ఇదంతా నాది. సో దీని ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తారు. యాక్చువల్లీ ట్రైన్ లో లగేజ్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటే ఇబ్బందులు అన్నీ ఉంటాయి. పావు గంట ముందు నుంచి వాళ్ళు మొత్తం లగేజ్ అంతా తీసుకొచ్చాడు. అప్పుడు కూడా ఇంకా ఇది కన్ఫర్మ్ కాదు ఏంటంటే మనం దిగుతాం లేదా అని. లగేజ్ తక్కువ ఉంటే వెరీ ఈజీ టు గెట్ డౌన్. ఓకే, సో యాక్చువల్లీ ఇన్ దిస్ రిగార్డ్ డివోటీస్ ఆర్ బిట్ సేఫ్. బాగా ఎక్కువ తాపత్రయం ఉండదు డివోటీస్ కి, రైట్? బికాస్ దేర్ అటాచ్డ్ టు ద కృష్ణ ప్రేమ, దేర్ అటాచ్డ్ టు ద కృష్ణ అండ్ భాగవతం, భగవద్గీత. సో ఇంత తాపత్రయం ఉండదన్నమాట. వాళ్ళ కర్మకి అనుసరించి ఏదైతే వస్తారో రావాలో అది వచ్చేస్తుంది అనమాట. కృష్ణ ఒక్కోసారి అది కూడా ఇవ్వడు. ఎందుకు? నా నుంచి దూరం అయిపోతాను. ఒక్కోసారి బాగా ఇచ్చేస్తాడు, ఎందుకంటే ఇచ్చిన వీడు నా నుంచి దూరం అవ్వడం అని. అదంతా ఆయన క్యాలిక్యులేషన్స్ అనమాట. అచ్యుత గోత్ర అంతా ఆయన క్యాలిక్యులేషన్, మనకు సంబంధం ఉండదు. సో రిషబ్ దేవ్ ఇస్ టెల్లింగ్ టు హిస్ చిల్డ్రన్, బీ కేర్ఫుల్. వై? హృదయ గ్రంథి అనేది ఒకసారి ఏర్పడింది అంటే అయిపోయినట్టు మీ పని అండి. సో దిస్ ఇస్ వాట్ దిస్ శ్లోక మీన్స్. We will directly recite the whole 4 lines together 3 times. You please recite after me. Is there any disturbance from my side?
No.
No, because here many of my relatives have come, so there might be some disturbance. But please concentrate. That's what I mean to say. Pumsha striyami thunibhavam etam tayormito hridaya grantim ahu ato griha kshetra sutapta vittair janasya mohoyamaham mameti. Right, this time.
Yeah.
पुंसा स्त्रियामिथुनीभावमेतं
तयोर्मितो
हृदयग्रन्थिम् अहो
अतो
गृहक्षेत्रसुताप्तवित्ते
जनस्य
मोहोऽयम् अहं ममेति.
Second line చూడండి ఒకసారి. ఓకే, తయోర్మితో హృదయ గ్రంథిం ఆహు. ఈ దగ్గర రెస్ట్ తీసుకుంటే ఎక్స్టెండెడ్ హృదయ గ్రంథిం ఆహు.
సారీ
पुंसक्रियामीतु निभावमेतम् तयोर्मितो हृदयग्रन्थिमाहुः अतो गृहक्षेत्रसुताप्तविक्तये जनस्य मोहोऽयमहं ममेति
शास्त्रियामीतु निभावमेतं तयोर्मितो हृदयग्रहितम् अहो
अतो
अतो
गृहक्षेत्रसुतावित्ते
गृहक्षेत्रसुतापवित्ते जनस्य मोहोऽयमहं ममेति।
Okay. पुंसः प्रियामीतु निभावमेतम् तयोर्मितो हृदयग्रन्थिम् आहुः अतो गृहक्षेत्रसुताप्तवित्तये जनस्य मोहोऽयमहं ममेति
शास्त्रियामीतु निभावमेतं
तयोर्मितो
हृदयग्रहितम्
अतो
अतो
गृहक्षेत्रसुताप्तवित्ते
गृहक्षेत्रसुताप्तवित्ते
जनस्य
जनस्य मोहोऽयम् अहं ममेति।
Prabhu, I'll go one more time.
ఫస్ట్ వన్ ఒకసారి చెప్పరా?
Two times మళ్ళీ చేద్దాం అక్కడ ఇది. ఓకే, ఎందుకంటే వాట్ ఐ కుడ్ అండర్స్టాండ్ ఇస్ ఇంకా ఎక్కలేదు డివోటీస్. ఓకే, టూ టైమ్స్ చేద్దాం. పుంసః ప్రియామీతు నిభావమేతం తయోర్మితో హృదయగ్రంథిం ఆహుః అతో గృహక్షేత్రసుతాపవిత్తే जनस्य मोहोऽयमहं ममेति
पुंसास्त्रियामीतु निभावमेतं तयोर्मितो हृदयग्रन्थिम् आहुः
अतो
अतो
गृहक्षेत्रसुतापवित्ते
गृहक्षेत्रसुताप्तवित्ते जनस्य मोहोऽयम् अहं ममेति।
ఇంకొకసారి ఫైనల్ టైం ఇది. ఓకే, జస్ట్ ట్రై వన్ మోర్ టైం. పుంసస్త్రియామీతు నిభావమేతం తయోర్మితో హృదయగ్రంథిం ఆహుః అతో గృహక్షేత్రసుతాప్తవిత్తే జనస్య మోహోऽయమహం మమేతి
पुंसास्त्रियामीतु निभावमेतं तयोर्मितो हृदयग्रन्थिमाहुः अतो गृहक्षेत्रसुताप्तवित्ते जनस्य मोहोऽयम् अहं ममेति।
ఓకే ప్రభు, you can go for the next shloka then. What is that one? Okay, Guru Nasasya. Okay. This shloka tells us what is the meaning of a relation. Okay. Any relation that we have, that should only meant to deliver that person. Okay. Whom we are having relation with. Whether we become a guru, whether we become a relative, whether we become a father, whether we become a friend, whether we become a demigod, or whether we become a husband. Okay. Main thing, what is that? Na mochayed. Na mochayed yaha samupeta mrutyam. Samupeta mrutyam means that person who is in repeated birth and death. Na mochayed. వాడికి ఏమి ఇవ్వాలంటే మనం మోక్షాన్ని ఇవ్వాలి. మోచయేద్ మీన్స్ we should liberate him from that cycle of birth and death. Until unless you can do it, don't have that relation, whether father, mother, brother, or friend, relative, guru, or demigod. Okay. ఈ రిలేషన్స్ అన్ని ఎప్పుడు ఉండాలంట? ఓన్లీ వెన్ వీ కెన్ డెలివర్ దెమ్. ఓకే, అప్పుడే మనం ఈ బాధ్యతలు తీసుకోవాలంట, లేకపోతే తీసుకోకూడదండి. దిస్ ఈజ్ అ ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఫ్రమ్ రిషభదేవ్ టు హిస్ 100 sons. ఓకే, చాలా మంచి శ్లోక ఇది. మెయిన్ ఏంటంటే మనం ఎప్పుడైనా ఒక సత్సంగం స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం అనుకున్నా, ఏం చేద్దాం అనుకున్నా, మన గోల్ ఏముండాలంటే యాక్చువల్లీ ఎవరైతే ఫాలోవర్స్ ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళకి ఇది ఇవ్వగలగాలంట. మనం ఏంటి? మోక్షాన్ని. మనం కాదు, మన యొక్క ఆచారాలు ఏదైతే మనకి ఇచ్చారో మనం అది ఫాలో కరెక్ట్ గా చేయాలన్నమాట, కరెక్ట్ గా పాస్ చేయాలి. అప్పుడు ఆ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ తీసుకోండి అని అంటారనమాట యాక్చువల్లీ రిషభదేవ్ టు 100 sons. ఓకే, గురుర్న సస్యాత్ స్వజనో న సస్యాత్ పితా న సస్యాత్ జననీ న సస్యాత్ దైవం న తస్యాన్న పతిష్ట సస్యాత్ న పతిష్ట సస్యాత్ నమో చయేజ్యా సముపేత మృత్యుం.
గురుర్న సత్యాత్ స్వజనో న సత్యాత్ పితా న సత్యాత్ జననీ న సత్యాత్
దైవం
దైవం న తస్యాన్న పతిశ్చ సన్యాత్
నమో చయేద్యా
నమో
సముపేత
చయేద్యా సముపేత మృత్యం.
ఓకే, గురుర్న సస్యాత్ స్వజనో న సస్యాత్ పితా న సస్యాత్ జననీ న సస్యాత్ దైవం న తస్యాన్న పతిశ్చ సస్యాత్ నమో చయేద్యా సముపేత మృత్యుం.
గురుర్న సత్యాత్ స్వజనో న సత్యాత్
పితా
పితా న సత్యాత్ జననీ న సత్యాత్
దైవం న
దైవం న తస్యాన్న పతిశ్చ
నమో
సత్యాత్ నమో
చయేద్యా
చయేద్యే సముపేత మృత్యం.
గురుర్న సస్యాత్ స్వజనో న సస్యాత్ పితా న సస్యాత్ జననీ న సస్యాత్ దైవం న తస్యాన్న పతిశ్చ సస్యాత్ నమో చయేద్యా సముపేత మృత్యుం.
గురుర్న సస్యాత్ స్వజనో న సత్యాత్ పితా న సస్యాత్ జననీ న సత్యాత్ దైవం న తస్యాన్న పతిశ్చ సత్యాత్
నమో
నమో చయేద్యా సముపేత మృత్యం.
ఓకే, లాస్ట్ లైన్ చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ అండి. ద లాస్ట్ లైన్ ఇస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇన్ దిస్ వర్స్. నమో చయేద్యా సముపేత మృత్యుం. దట్ ఈస్
నమో
ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఓకే,
చయేద్యా సముపేత మృత్యం.
okay, this is enough now. I hope everyone got in line with this shloka, right?
Yeah.
The previous one was bit tough, but this one will be very easy.
Yeah, ఈ అన్ని 5 శ్లోకాలు రేపు let us spend good time, Prabhu, tomorrow.
Yeah, sure, Prabhu.
Good time. All
You
these
can
5
take the lead
slokas.
now, Prabhu. Thank you.
No, this week only. Tomorrow we will decide all the 5 slokas. Next week another 6 ఉన్నాయి, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
చెప్పు అలా హరే కృష్ణ.
5.5.8 లో Rishabhdeva teachings to his sons. But what about Gruhastha ashram? We have ashrams, right? Gruhastha,
So this is
Brahmacharya.
hold on, my understanding, let me tell. This is for materialists, okay? The same Gruha, Kshetra, Sutapta with the Gruha, Illu, Kshetra, the work, Suta and Apta, children and relatives, and money, using in Krishna's service. That is the difference between Gruhastha and Gruhamedi. ఈ Gruhamedi wala చెప్తున్నాను, okay? Not for Gruhasthas. There are exemplified devotees we see in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Gruhasthashramam, Vyasadevudu, Sandipani Muni. And yeah, we see many examples. We have to understand this verse for Gruhamedhi or materialistic person, materialistic family life, not for devotees family life. That is the only understanding. Okay. So my
ఫ్యామిలీని చూసారా మాతాజీ? యాక్చువల్లీ ఈ ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ ఎంత స్ట్రాంగ్ గా ఉన్నాయంటే, ఆ రిషబ్ దేవ్ యొక్క 90 మంది 100 మంది ఉంటారు కదా, 90 మంది ఏమో నైష్టిక బ్రహ్మచర్యం, తర్వాత సన్యాసం వెళ్ళిపోతారనమాట. 9 మంది నవయోగేంద్ర, ఒకడు భరతమారావు. గ్లోరియస్ ఫ్యామిలీని చూసారా యాక్చువల్లీ? సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద గ్రేట్నెస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ ఫ్యామిలీ. దట్స్ వై దే హావ్ కమ్ ఇన్ టు భాగవతం. 90 మంది నైష్టిక బ్రహ్మచర్యం సన్యాసం, 9 మంది నవయోగేంద్రులు. ఎక్కడ కాదు, సేమ్ నార్మల్ పొజిషన్ అనమాట వాళ్ళకి. ఒక్కడు ఉన్నవాడు భరత్ మహారాజ్.
To teach us, Prabhuji. So what is great? What is like higher purpose?
సో దిస్ ఇస్ ఫర్ గృహం మేరీస్ మాతాజీ, నాట్ ఫర్ గృహస్థస్. పర్పట్ లో పర్పస్ చాలా క్లియర్ గా మెన్షన్ చేస్తారన్నమాట. ఈ పర్పస్, ఇలాంటి పర్పస్ ఇది ఎందుకు చెప్పారు, మనకి ఎందుకు కాదు, ఇది ఎలాంటి వాళ్ళకి ఇది అని. ఓకే చెప్పి లాస్ట్ లో చెప్తారు మళ్ళీ ఏంటంటే, అలాంటి వాళ్ళు జాగ్రత్తగా ఉండండి మీరు.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
So ఒకసారి synonyms and translations ఇది and previous one let us do and we can wrap up. Tomorrow let us spend good time, like 8:50 కి reading complete చేసి 8:50 8:55 కి tomorrow till 9:30 we can practice all these 5 verses of the Rishabh Deva's teachings to his sons. So now let us go with word by word and translation. Let me do for this one. Pumsaha of a male, striyaha of a female, mithuni bhavam, attraction for sexual life. Etam, this, tayo of both of them, mitaha, between one another, hridaya grandhim, the knot of the hearts, ahu, they call, ataha, thereafter, gruha, by home, kshetra, field, suta, children of the relatives, vittai, and by wealth, janasya, of the living being, moha, illusion, I am this, aham, I, mama, mine, iti, thus. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. Next one, anybody likes to do? No need to leave due to relatives in my home. Oh, please, thank you so much. Thank you. Tomorrow we'll practice anyway. Is this one also word by word? Please read. Anybody?
Can I
Hare.
read?
Go ahead.
Guru, a spiritual. No, not sa. He.
Lavanya, wait for me. Okay. Now you continue.
Guru, a spiritual master. No, not sa. He. Syat should become. Swajana, a relative. No, not saha. Such a person, Syat, should become. Pita, a father. No, not saha. He. Syat should become. Janani, a mother. No, not sa. She. Syat should become. Daivam, the worshipable deity. No, not Tat, that Syat should become. No, not Pati, a husband. Cha, sa, also. Saha, he. Syat should become. No, not Mochayet, can deliver. Yaha, who. Samupeta, Mrityum, one who is on the path of repeated birth and death. One who cannot deliver his dependence from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nasasyat, nasasyat. ఎన్నిసార్లు వచ్చింది? 1, 2, 3, 4. Natatsyan 5 times, 6 times. Napatisyan 5 times. Okay, 5 times. Nasasyat, should not become. Then who will become? One who is in the one who teaches kids training. Chant with family is the motivation of chant with family is this one only. Okay, Haribol. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha. Kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti vaishnavrinda ki jai. Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Premanande Hari Hari Bol.